have none.
Approval of September, October claims.
Yeah, that was for Griffin Septic. Yep.
All right, all in favor? Opposed? Claims are approved. Approval of September minutes and reports. All in favor? Opposed? And the minutes and reports are approved. All right, comments from the public? Comments from board members and employees?
Well, I have several comments, but I'll let Tavia and Rich take the lead first. We've had several. This is our busy time.
Hello. So we just finished a very busy and exciting month of events. So we kicked off October with our annual Pioneer Days, and we had a great turnout for that. It was a wonderful event. We estimated about 900 cars were parked for the event, and we raised about $4,466 in parking. So we think that that was a very successful event. And then this past couple weekends, we had our Hawthorne hay rides, and then this past Saturday, we had our Fowler Park hay rides and our Fowler Park After Dark event. And in total, we raised about $2,809. This year, we tried something new with the Fowler Park After Dark event and tried to do pre-registration online, and that was a really big success. We had about 100 tickets sold online prior to Fowler Park After Dark, and so that helped to streamline the process a lot. And it was a very successful event. Adam did a great job scaring people as a Sasquatch. We're hoping that he can come in on
Video
Halloween
somewhere.
and scare people in the office. So it was a really good time, and we look forward to making this event even bigger and better next year. Thank you.
All right. It's been busy out at the bike park. We were getting ready for the opening of the building and got it opened on the 17th. I flew in from vacation and opened the building and flew back out to Disney. And I've been off the last 2 weeks, so it's been really hectic. Thanks to Adam and Tavia for setting things up while I was gone, because they did a lion's share of stuff getting it ready, and the building's beautiful if you haven't seen it. No jobs. I had to go to the North Pole for that. But we've got 4 more events to go this season. We've got 4 rides. We got our pain train that's going to be every trail in the park, which I almost didn't make on an e-bike last year. 32 miles in one day is a lot at Griffin Bike Park. Then we've got a gravel race the weekend after that. And it's going to be low turnout because we started advertising late. If you don't advertise 90 days before, you're not going to get a turnout. Then we've got our, hold on, I'm thinking of the name because if I say it wrong, it's the Black Friday ride. And if I say it a certain way, people get offended. So and I didn't know that until a couple years ago. It's the Black Friday ride. And then the Christmas lights ride. We'll do that on the 19th. Black Friday is, of course, on Black Friday. But come see us at the park and see the building. It's pretty cool.
If you guys want to schedule tours, if you've not seen the building yet, just let us know, and we're around. So we also figured out we'd been talking about having concerts at Griffin Bike Park. We got a nice big stage for that, and we had a couple guest singers, and then had open mic night after the ribbon cutting, and it worked well. The weather was absolutely perfect. And we had some kid named Jackson Grossman played, and some other guy named Blake Griffin played. Both did an excellent job, but we got a venue for that. I think coming up with a summer concert series out there would be awesome. So, more to come on that. Under my comments here, finally got a permit to build our trail come Friday, so we can officially have our connection between the Butterfly Garden and the Wabashiki Trail. So we're going to start on that sometime. Not real sure when, between equipment availability and time, but finally got our permit to get started. We got our agreement signed, done, passed through attorneys and 5 different councils, so we can start on a disc golf course at Fowler Park. So hopefully in the next week or so, we'll start clearing some corridor, and our designer's scheduled to come in town here in the coming weeks. So he gave us a list of things to do ahead of his arrival, so we can kind of speed up the process. We need to be done and installed by about August. So a lot of work to do out there. The Rubel Park has had a few incidences here or there. We've had cameras out trying to catch who's knocking down fencing and tagging things, and then they turn around and stole our cameras that were out there. So that's kind of a bold move, I feel, to steal our cameras. They've stolen our solar lights, and for whatever reason, it seems like a place people want to pick on right now. So. They've kind of spread it out for the most part, more on the western end, I guess, than anything. But the middle-most parking lot recently has been hit the hardest, but the western lot's had its own issues. It's lit up very well and a lot of traffic. Yeah. They tagged the back of that sign. The crew did a great job repainting it. I don't think you can tell that they've done it, but they tagged the back of the kiosk and other signage in the park, and ripped down some stuff, plowed over the fence. They've dumped trash and garbage and construction materials, and why, I don't know, but really disappointed that they had the audacity to try to steal our camera. So we'll put a camera on a camera next time. So just want to make you aware of that. We're having a tree planting November 15th at Bicentennial Park. Trees Inc.'s coming out, leading that charge through a grant that they had gotten that will also satisfy our mitigation requirements for removal of the fence in the football field and all that kind of stuff. So Brian's going to dig some holes for them, and we've had several meetings. Trees Inc.'s a well-oiled machine. They'll do a great job. So if you want to come out and see, I believe Mark volunteered to come out and plant trees. That's what I heard. So November 15th. They said you were signed up. So so it'll be a good day. They have music and donuts and T-shirts, and it'll be a good event. So thanks to Trees Inc. for helping us out with that. We had a meeting today for our first ever outdoor expo, the West Central Indiana Outdoor Expo. It's coming along really well. We've got some donors online to make this happen, to not be a burden or a cost on our department, just out our time to bring these people in and showcase everything that we've got. So we've got some recognizable speakers that'll come talk about anything from fishing to hunting to how to use outdoor properties. So I think it's going to be an awesome, big event for Vigo County. I think it'll be a big annual event.
April 18th and 19th of 2026.
Yep.
Yes.
Tavia's done a great job. Really took the brunt on of a lot of the typing, legwork, and things in between. And so we're really going to start rolling on that next month. We just had our meeting today. We'll have another meeting a month from today, finalize some things, and really start getting people together. So it's coming along well. Final on my comments here, I've got a pretty close year-end total for what we've made in camping and reservations. I forgot to add one more number together here, but actually no, I didn't. $312,968 is what we've made on camping, shelter, and barn rentals. So the Pioneer wagon and the new cabin added in on that. The breakdown Fowler made 122,935. Forever and always has been leading the department in camping. Hawthorne Park is next and actually creeped up towards Fowler this year at 95,292. And I say this year as we only got a handful of days left in the camping season, and most of the sites are booked till we'll get a little bit more money, but we're pretty close. Then Prairie Creek, 70,991. So again, we're up a little bit more than we were last year. Our target for this year was about 300,000, and so we're over that and still accumulating for the year. So I feel pretty good about where we're at. The direct water sites are wildly popular. Those are always the first ones to book up, and they all book up every weekend. So those are well used and well liked by our patrons. Before I move on, I half lied in our camping section. Other than the good part about money, I talked about dog policy and some irritation among campers. Felt like you guys need to know some of what we deal with on a daily basis when people call in. If somebody comes to the board, writes a letter, wants to know, well, why were we kicked out? Why did we not get a refund? A lot of premise on these policies and the decisions that we're making stem from our staff and reports and what people are seeing in the field. I feel like it's important to let you guys know, just a little bit of some of the things that they're dealing with out there, so that when we get these reports, there's usually a background. I won't use a name, but and I won't even use a park. This is just an example of something we've dealt with here in the last week. We had a female gate attendant was going around making rounds at a particular park. Noticed several violations of our policies: refrigerator on the ground, dogs not on a leash, all kinds of violations. Approached that person to address such violations, and instead of being receptive and saying, "Oh, didn't even realize that was a policy," started yelling, used aggressive language, got in her face, screamed at her, intimidated her, and the list goes on. We tried to, she called for backup, feeling intimidated, screamed at and belittled. Our staff showed up, didn't get any better. The sheriff's department then showed up to escort them off the property. At that point, they were trespassed. They knew they were trespassed. They told they were trespassed. And then they showed back up at Prairie Creek Park. Well, we kicked them out, said, "You were aggressive towards our staff. You can't do this. You can't treat our staff like that and then think you can come back." And I'm sure they're going to ask for their money back. We don't do a refund for that. That site was reserved for them. The general public then could not reserve that site because it was taken. They chose to not abide by our policies and was removed from the park. So if that individual asks for their money back, we don't give it back. We've got 2 or 3 refund requests. People are starting to figure out somehow that they can try to do a fraudulent claim and try to get their money back through whatever card system. Well, I didn't even realize they could do that. We didn't say anything on the first one. It went through and they took it out of our account. I didn't even think that was legal. So from now on, we're going to fight every one of them. We're going to send our refund policy that says no refunds at all, and make sure that we're not bleeding out some other way due to a violation of policy. So I just want to make you aware of some of the things that, sometimes, maybe it's not conveyed well enough with some of our staff. It's a wonderful job, wonderful parks, but sometimes you get some individuals that are very tough to deal with, and that's a really difficult situation for that individual to be in. I hate that they had to go through that, and we try to back them up best we can in the office and support them. So that's just one example I wanted to provide, and I know I call Abby every once in a while with, we got this person or this person, or I'm sending a letter, but just a little bit of background about, we've got a lot of awesome staff out there that unfortunately have to deal with some things like this every once in a while. And it's not everybody, just like any public park and any open business, you've got a few that you're going to have to deal with. So any questions on that?
The question that our
I believe they were at the time. They were making rounds, yeah, checking on the park. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Usually when it gets any kind of out of hand, a second person's being involved. And we go up in levels of training. So if it's any more than just informing them that they're in violation of a policy, someone that's been even more trained, that's been there longer, is going to come help address that issue. If the sheriff's department's coming, that first person's not the only one there. In that particular situation, we go back and forth. I mean, to take away somebody's right to come camp at a park is no minor thing. And I've talked to Abby a lot about, is this a 1 year, it's probably been best both interest if you don't come back for this year or if you don't ever come back. In this particular situation, we got these papers today, and I've honestly not even made that decision yet. I would probably call Abby tomorrow and say, my off the cuff is, if we're intimidating staff in that nature, I feel like that it's probably in the best interest that you don't come back. So that is a difficult decision we get 20, 25 of these and try to figure out what you're going to do. Is it a curtail behavior in a year, come back with a great attitude, or not?
And I think this example particularly, they have to have nasty things for them. If they just go like walk right up to them,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we can be threat and take another conversation and stuff. So,
Mm.
yeah, we just kind of, it's a case by case basis, and we navigate, we talk through a lot of them.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I have for my comments.
Moving on to capital improvement plan.
So since the cleanup of Pioneer Days, put a lot of effort towards Frisbee golf. So right now we're at Prairie Creek Park. By Friday, I think we'll have all the tee pads put in, which are the concrete hog slats, and all the bridges put in. And then from there, we're going to move towards Fowler and start blazing the trail.
I'll add to that, our overlook is under construction, if you've not driven past right now. So that should be looking a whole lot different real soon. We got our raised planter bed installed. That was done Friday, I believe, was complete there. Emily's Walk funded that for us, so looks a lot better in the middle there at Dewey Point. Then at the end of the season, we still have scheduled to crack seal Fowler, Hawthorne, and Prairie Creek parks. So we've got the money encumbered, set aside to get that done. That was the end of my capital improvements. Griffin Bike Park, always ongoing discussion in a lot of aspects, but we're putting together our vendor area, and it looks really good. If you've not been there, definitely visit. Still trying to put that together, what we're doing exactly. The final bills for Strobe construction are here today, so we'll get that finalized here in the coming days, and that'll be an awesome thing to get off our plate. Michaela and I, especially, and Rich, have beat our heads on the walls for about 2 years, making sure that we can make ends meet to get this building done. So awesome thing to have off our plate and done. Then the last thing, we're trying to work with Groundworks and Pump Track. It's looking grim if we're going to get that done this year. Still trying to figure out some things with the auditor's office, what we're going to do. I would say there's a half decent chance we've got to go back to council next year and ask for appropriation of funds. We encumbered the money to do the pump track, which is started, but he doesn't think it'll be finished by the end of the year. But if you've encumbered that appropriation, it's my understanding you can't re-encumber an encumbrance. So unless the auditor's office tells me something different, we're going to have to go back to council, which is a very unfortunate thing for me to have to do. But probably our reality if I had to guess. I think we're started. We'll get our concrete money out, but I don't think it's gonna, the whole thing in full is not gonna be done. So we'll have to figure that out, come along the way. So, you know, anything to add to that, or is that pretty close?
No, it's pretty close. The building just took a little longer. We didn't want to get in there and start building pump track and tear up what the building people did. But it took longer for him to get started. We had a couple of jobs that were slowing down.
We had a very cumbersome final grade and swale around the building that really couldn't be messed with until it was done, straw seeded and out of the way. So we'll figure that out. We're still working with them, and we'll find a way. So that is all I have for Griffin Bike Park. The only update I've got on budget, right now our part-time year-round employees are slated at $18 an hour, which is awesome. That's where we wanted them to be for a couple of years. These are employees that some of them have been with us 6 years, well-trained, dependable individuals, great employees. We really needed a little bit of disparity between a seasonal employee, a part-time year-round, and then our full-time maintenance. So I believe that puts them right where they should be at $18 an hour. For somebody that's been with 6 years that can run equipment and trained, our seasonal employees are slated at $15 an hour. I think that's a good spot for them to be in that range. And I believe the council is going to vote on salary ordinances in November. So I'll be at that meeting to see if I can help in any way. But I think that's right where everybody should be, and I think everybody would be thrilled with that. So, and I've not heard anything about our budget in general. So I assume that, well, that was voted on last month. So we'll be able to see what our placeholder numbers are here shortly. So, any questions on that? Got anything?
No, I just hate to miss the Rick Bike Park opening. We were on vacation. I hate to miss that. I like to step out in the cars.
Thank you. That's all I have for budget stuff and in between. It's one of the fastest meeting ever.